He sat in the other, opposite her, and composed a benign smile to put her at ease. The wooden chairs, with their high, straight backs, were unfortunately not conducive to making people feel comfortable, but they were all he had. She sat stiffly, her knees locked, her hands folded in her lap. She was a handsome rather than a pretty young woman, part Yaqui, with sharp cheekbones and a fall of charcoal black hair. "Well, Christina, how are you feeling?" he inquired, maintaining his smile.
"How do you suppose I would feel?"
she said, with a boldness that matched her mature look and threw him a little off balance. "Do you mean you are nervous?"
"No. Should I be? I am angry after what was done to me."
She sounded it. Her voice, though subdued, whetted as a knife. "You have every right to be," he said sympathetically. It seemed he was the nervous one, uncertain as to where this was going. Rape counseling was not what anyone would term his strong point. "Would you be willing to talk about that? What happened to you?"
"I want to ask you if I will be excommunicated and will burn in hell,"
she said, with a direct, challenging look in her wounded eyes.
"I have heard my mother say that about another girl."
That she was to be excommunicated because she'd been
violated,
Christina said. Her mother, Paulina Herrera, went to Mass daily and made a great show of her devoutness, bowing more deeply than anyone else, genuflecting on both knees rather than one, spreading her uplifted hands a yard wide when the Lord's Prayer was recited. The very pious Señora Herrera was the title he'd privately conferred on her. But the view just expressed seemed too extreme even for her. "You must not have heard correctly, Christina. Your mother could not have said that."
"This girl was pregnant."
She hesitated and turned her glance away from him, toward the bookshelves. Her rigid posture slackened somewhat. There was a softening in her stern composure.
"To say this to a man, a priest,"
she stuttered. Then came an unintentional play on words.
"Esto es embarazoso. Estoy embarazada."
This is embarrassing. I am pregnant. He had thought as much. "You're certain?"
"I saw the doctor."
"Dr. Moreno?" Her nod was so quick and shallow, he almost didn't see it. "Does your mother know?" The negative movement of her head was likewise hurried. "And you're sure? This is difficult to ask, but I have to."
"Yes! No one else?"
she interrupted with a flash of anger. Her shoulders convulsed and, her whole facade collapsing at once, she began to sob. Riordan's instinct was to envelop her in a consoling embrace, but such a gesture was out of the question, given the ongoing scandals in the church and the chance that it would be misinterpreted. Instead, leaning forward, he rested his palms lightly on her shoulders. A man named Jesus Delgado, a Brotherhood mule, drove mota to remote points on the border, where other mules backpacked them into the United States for further distribution. To college kids, Riordan thought, and to hardcore potheads and bourgeois baby boomers reliving their counterculture youths, none of whom knew or cared that they were sucking Mexican blood into their lungs. This Delgado had abducted Christina while she was walking home from school with her friends. Narcos could do things like that with impunity, confident that witnesses would plead sudden blindness if asked about the crime. Delgado took her to his village, Mesa Verde, and raped her for 3 days before she escaped with a villager's help. When she recovered from the ordeal, physically, that is, she went to the San Patricio